Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Reach Out with Ray and Steve. This is the show where East meets the West, the Yankees meet the Dodgers, baseball meets music, and we all come together for our community. Man, we have a great show for you right now, so let's don't wait to bring on our illustrious host, Ray and Steve. Come on in, gentlemen.
Thank you, thank you. Another edition, and Ray, this is a special day that everybody remembers our captain, right, Ray?
It's still an emotional day. It's an emotional day for me. It's been all day. I mean, the first text I got this morning was from Diane Munson, and her text was still hard, but still know that I love this man very much. To know him was to love him. Diane Munson.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now Thurman Munson was a great New York Yankee, but more than that, he was a great baseball man, a great baseball player, and just a great human being. And it's great that we are honoring him today.
Well, you know, you had to know him, and you know, Chris Chambliss knew him. Ronnie Bloomberg was his roomie. You know, especially during the hard days when Thurman first got there, you know, 1969, 70, 71, 72, you know, when we hadn't done anything yet, but we were trying to make our mark. And Thurman was, thank God we had Thurman Munson. And he, you know, like Diane said, to know him was to love him. And I know in that clubhouse, we all loved Thurman Munson, and Thurman Munson had everybody's back. You know, I mean, right down to the Bat Boys, you know what I'm saying? So that's how special of a man he was.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ray. He epitomized the title of captain.
Well, the one thing I will tell you, and again, our players will tell you the same thing. You better not call him captain. He didn't want to be a captain. By example, say the leader just did what he had to do, and up with them.
Yeah, it is August 2nd. August 2nd rolls around. Everybody kind of reflects in a big way. And being at Yankee Stadium, Ray, all these years, since 1979, it's probably not the same since then, right?
You know, Steve, everybody gets their own identity and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you know, I know I sound like an old man when I say it's, you know, it's not like it used to be. Well, it'll never be like it used to be. And the aspect of having a Thurman Munson, to have a Chris Chambliss, a Willie Randolph, a Roy White, you know what I'm saying? Those are very, very special people, okay? Very special people who were like big brothers, you know? And I am just been blessed to have been able to go on that magical mystery tour with them.
Now, we have a pretty wild and crazy show today. Talk about illustrious guests, huh?
Yes. We actually have Ron Bloomberg, Roy White, and Chris Chambliss, all three of them here that were dear friends of Thurman Munson and the family. They were players together. They won championships together. They won and lost together. They laughed and cried together. Let's bring in these three great Yankees, Chris Chambliss, Roy White, and Ron Bloomberg. Gentlemen, are you guys there?
Oh,
right here.
Look at these guys. Whoa.
Yes.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
I'm the only one here, looks like, so far.
No. Hey, Roy. Hey, Chris.
There you are, Boomer.
Hey, we got to do this.
Snatcher.
It's time to go eat, you know?
The Boomer.
Yeah, what's new? You're ready to eat
And
again.
Heba. The Snatcher, the Boomer, and Heba.
It's almost like Hollywood Squares here, but guys, August 2nd, I'll start with you, Ron. August 2nd, what are your reflections today of the captain?
Well, you know, unfortunately, I was with the White Sox and I got released, a little bit before that. I was at home and I was watching Judge Judy on TV, of all things. And I saw a little bit of slurb underneath the on the TV, and it says breaking news. And whenever you see breaking news, you know something, of course, got to be pretty bad. And I saw that New York Yankee captain Thurman Munson killed in a plane crash in Canton, Ohio. And I mean, it was major devastating. I mean, Chris would tell you, Roy would tell you. I mean, this is a guy that we came up with, and this is a guy that he was our soulmate. He was our brother. And he was a tough guy. He was a leader. He was a great ball player, and he was. What more can you say about him? I mean, he was a guy that made this team go.
And so much so, you just came out with a new book, The Captain and Me. Talk about those stories in this book. I think that it really is outstanding. You talk about your relationship with Thurman Munson and the family.
Well, I didn't talk anything about baseball. I talked about what we did during the off season. And Roy would tell you, and Chris would tell you, and unfortunately, we didn't make a lot of money when we played it, and a lot of guys, worked second jobs, and Thurman stayed and did a lot of engagements, and Roy would know who I'm talking about, and Chris, a guy named Nat Tarnopol. Nat Tarnopol was the owner of Brunswick Records, and he was a guy that really fell in love with all the ball players, and he was very, very close with everybody. And we did so many things together with him during the off season. And with Diana, and I came up with Thurman, and Roy did the same thing. And when Thurman came into the locker room in 1969, and Jake Gibbs was basically the catcher then, you knew that Thurman was going to be the it factor, and he was a guy that he was going to be the catcher of the team. So I mean, at that time, unfortunately, we didn't have the greatest of teams, but we had a great clubhouse, a great bunch of guys, and Thurman was right in the middle of everything, and he grew with the team, and fortunately, with Chris and Roy, having great years and great careers up in New York. I mean, it was a great situation. I mean, Thurman we all love, and on and off the field, and that's why I wrote the book to let people know what type of person he was actually off the field.
Roy, what's your thoughts about Thurman on this day? Roy?
Well, I sat next to Thurman for all those 11 years that he's with the Yankees. I had my man Chris was on my right, was on my left. And I didn't know much about him when he came up. I didn't know how good a ball player he was. I had never really seen him play. But from day one, the first game that he played, and I remember a guy tried to steal. I'm out in left field, and this guy broke the steal. And I didn't even see the ball leave Thurman's hand. It was the fastest I've ever seen a catcher down second base. He came up and got a base hit and drove in a run. So right away, you can see that this guy was really something special. So for those 11 years, he was the first guy I saw every day that I came to the park. We sat on the plane together on many, many flights. And Thurman would discuss his family and his future in baseball. He was way ahead of his time. Thurman was already thinking about what he was going to do after he got out of baseball. And many times when we had conversations, he told me that he was going to develop shopping centers and real estate in Canton, Ohio. So he was a real businessman off the field, very smart, intelligent guy. So I really miss him. I had some great dinners with him. His favorite line was, "Hey, Roy, you're the man I want to see when I want to have a good meal, because you know all the best restaurants in the American League." So it was a blast being of his, and a great loss. A very sad day for me when that happened. Very sad.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for sharing that. Chris, your thoughts on Thurman?
Yeah, Thurman, everybody asked me about, especially we used to talk a lot about clutch hitting, and I would always mention Thurman as being the best clutch hitter I've ever seen. there were situations in games when we needed a big hit. He'd be the guy you'd want up there. You couldn't strike him out. You know, you just couldn't get him out. He was just a great hitter, and it really hurts the day that we lost him. What I remember most was the meeting we had with Billy Martin with the team, and Billy was crying and telling us about Thurman dying and all that, and that was really just one of the saddest meetings I've ever been in. But he was a special person, special player. He was our captain, and like what was said before, you know, he didn't rally to be a captain. He just played, and you just followed him. And when you played the way he played, you know, it just rubbed off on everybody. So he's really a special player and a special person.
So Ray, when you see Chris and Roy and Ron talk about Thurman, what's some of your thoughts about them, but also about the captain?
I get very emotional because these guys were all my brothers. Chris, Roy, Boomy, you know, Thurman. You know, I used to drive Thurman to Teterboro Airport, and I know how much he loved his teammates. I know how much he loved these guys. And on different scenarios, if something happened to Chris, something happened to Roy, or Boom, you know, I remember in '77 when Bloomberg ran into the wall in Winter Haven, and Thurman that night was telling me about he felt the pain when Boomy went into that wall. I mean, that's the kind of guy that he was, and you know, like Chris said, like Roy said, like Boomy said, we miss him. We're never going to get over that, ever, because he was truly a brother. He was a brother to those guys, and me, this Puerto Rican kid from the streets with the afro, he treated me like a little brother, and I will never forget that, and that's why I love these guys. Through Roy and Chris and Boomy, when I see them, I hug them and I kiss them because I want to hold on to my beautiful childhood.
You know, for the fan today, for the person today, it's hard to understand how much he loved his family because he took flying lessons to be with his family. I don't think not too many professional athletes or people would do something like that. But Chris, did you always see the love he had with his family?
There's no doubt about it. He was, and you know, we know him as the Yankee family, you know, but he talked about his family all the time. But he also felt family when he was with us. In fact, he told me one time that one of his biggest wishes was that none of us got traded, that we all had long-term contracts so that we would all stay together for the years to come. As you know, none of that happened. We all got traded away and whatever. But, you know, Roy was right about, you know, thinking ahead like that. He thought way ahead, and he wanted all of us to stay with the club forever. He wanted all of us to have long-term contracts so we can continue winning and playing the game.
Wow. Roy, what's your thoughts about Thurman's love for his family?
Well, you know, I heard about that firsthand from him many times. Sitting next to him on the plane while he was studying the manual to be a pilot. And he says, "Hey, Roy," he says, "I've got this plane now, so after the game on Sundays, because we always had a doubleheader on Sundays, and Monday was the day off. He says, I could fly home after the game, be with my family Sunday, spend the day with them Monday and Monday night, and then fly back and be with the team on Tuesday." So that was his main purpose in wanting him to get that plane. And, you know, eventually that cost him his life. But the love of his family is what he was thinking about all the time.
Wow.
To check out on you guys, I've got family that just flew in from Austria, my grandson. So he's here now, and I got to get back and have dinner with him. Not having dinner with my grandson.
Well, Roy, thank you for sharing a few minutes with
Oh,
us. I
thanks
know
for
this is a difficult
guys.
time.
See you, Roy.
Sure.
Roy, see, we love you, big guy.
Thank you, guys.
Okay,
So-
Roy.
Before we go further, we want to show some fans now 1976 when, Chris, you hit that big home run, put the Yankees in the World Series after 18 years.
2 balls and no strikes to Munson.
Well, as we're queuing up the film, talk about that hit, Chris.
Well, you know that was a culmination of a lot of great games with Kansas City and the series and everything. So, I mean, that was just a highlight of my career, you know. And we're talking about Thurman, and I just know he was, you know, he was there. It was such a pleasure to hit behind him during those years because he was always on base. You know, he was MVP that year, and yeah, he's just a special player. But anyway, the home run was just was the highlight of my career, of course, and to get us into the World Series for the first time was just a thrill of a lifetime, and to have all my teammates around us. Ronnie was there with us, and it was just fun to be there.
Oh, we got the film now. Let's check it out right now.
Art Littell delivers high drive, hits it right center field.
That's gone.
It is gone.
Chris Chambliss has won the American League pennant for the New York Yankees. A thrilling, dramatic game with overtones of that great 6th game in the World Series a year ago, and then the 7th game too. What a way for the American League season to end. A spunky young Kansas City team. Look at them mob Chris Chambliss. What a season he has had. What a series he has had.
You're like a running back
Wow.
there.
He had to run a few guys over there a little bit.
Oh, the greatest part when he hit that guy that was wearing that overcoat. He's probably still buried underneath that.
I
Hey,
looked
Ray-
up and that guy was in my face. I had no choice but to run over him. So
That was a football game, I think. There.
Yeah. Ray, where were you in that crowd, Ray?
No, I was in the clubhouse when that happened. And then what happened was Chris finally made it into the clubhouse, and then security came in and said, "Chris, you have to go back out and touch home plate." And that's what happened. Thurman Munson finally.
Wow.
That's a
You
true
remember
story.
that, Chris?
That's a true story. They wanted to know whether I touched home plate or not. I said, "Well, how can I do that? It was impossible." So, a couple security guards and myself, we went back out, put a jacket on, and we went back out to the home plate and looked down. And when we looked down, the plate was gone. So, I put my foot on there anyway. So, but that was a thrilling moment, and I love the photo. As you guys seen the there's a lot of photos from it, but Thurman's jumping up out of the dugout after I hit him.
Hey, but
That was
one thing that happened was George Brett from the other side found out that Chris had to come back out, and he said, "We got to charge him for running out of baseline."
That sounds like him. That's it. Yeah.
But Chris, you weren't the only one with a big home run. A lot of Yankee home runs. Let's check out what Thurman did in the playoffs. Let's check this out.
2 balls and no strikes to Munson. Try he is. Munson hits it high, hits it well to left. Wilson going way back, way back. It is.
Oh! The damaged man. You're getting everything, ladies and gentlemen, in this ball game, right, Jim? The damaged man. He's been fighting his battered body all throughout the series, getting his pitch. We told you about Bird, and he did not go to right field. He got his pitch high, right where he wanted it, and put it deep into the bullpen.
Wow. 2 things in common. It's always against the Royals, and Howard Cosell is always in the booth.
Isn't that something? What year was that? That was
78. That was 78. Yeah, playoff of '78.
Yeah, that was Doug Bird. I remember that home run. It was a
You know,
long home run too.
In the spring training of 1977, in the first game, Ron Blumberg hits a home run over the trees and everything.
Wow.
And so then Thurman Munson turns to Reggie, who was, supposed to be the power guy, and he says, Blumberg didn't get it all. So Reggie runs up to Blumberg. He says, hey, Blumberg, did you get it? And Blumberg said, I just missed it.
Hey, let me ask you two Yankee sluggers. You added a couple of new Yankee sluggers to the team this past week. How are they going to fare in that short right field fence you got over there?
Well, let me tell you something. I really like that Rizzo. Being with the Cubs for many, many years, of course, and I have not seen him play that often. But when he got that double play, he reminded me, I don't know if he reminded me a little bit about Donnie Baseball a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
How he played first base. I don't know how you felt about it, Ray and Chris.
He reminds me. I told our team president that he reminds you of Chris Chambliss when we got him in '74.
But he wasn't left-handed. But
same type of hitter, same type of average, same type of home runs, and same glove.
Absolutely. The snatcher, snatcher right over here. He could snatch it better than anybody. He was the best of the best.
Hey,
he was the best of the best. Yeah.
Bloomy, in the World Series of '78, now Snatcher had a spectacular year with the glove. I mean, he was just unbelievable. So in the World Series of '78, he gets hurt, and we had another guy to back him up by the name of Jim Spencer, who was a darn good defensive first baseman.
Excellent.
But you know what? Chris had become so great at picking up the ball out of the dirt that all I was thinking about was my World Series share. So I begged Chris, even though he couldn't hit. All I wanted him to do was to catch the balls in the dirt from Bucky and from Nettles. So I said, please, Chris, please play. Do you remember that, Chris?
Yeah, I in the playoffs that year, I took a swing and I felt something in my hand. It was just hurting, and it turned out to be a hamate bone broken. So that was really hard to. They were giving me shots and everything, trying to get on the field. But Spence did play a lot that year, and I played a couple games, but Spence did most of it because my hand was just killing me during that time. And but yeah, I do remember that, and it was fun playing over there. I enjoy playing first base. It was just great. I think the Yankees acquisitions have just been tremendous. You guys know as much as I do that they were just overloaded right-handed with power. They got great power, but they're all right-handed. And I can't remember a Yankee team that didn't have strong left-hand power hitting. So these two guys, I think, should make a huge difference in their life.
And you're following in the lineage of Joe DiMaggio. You're getting all these Italians back on the team. Look at that.
Nothing wrong with that. If they can hit, who cares?
Yeah.
And Steve, let me tell you about these two guys. Number one, you know how I feel about Blumberg. I talk about him all the time, etc. And Chris Chambliss, in 1974, my first road trip was to Chicago, right? And then coming back from Chicago, we were not coming back on a chartered flight. We were coming back on a commercial flight. We were still flying commercial in those days. So the traveling secretary didn't put me down. So I was stuck in Chicago. I didn't know how I was going to get home. And Chris Chambliss literally got me on that flight and never told me that he paid for my ticket to come home. And I never forgot that. And things like that is why these guys, why I love Boomy, why I love Snatcher, why I love Roy. Forget about it, man. Bucky Dent, forget about it, man. These guys are like, there will never be another group assembled like these guys. I'm not talking about baseball players. I'm talking about gentlemen of heart and soul who cared about each other so much. That's why I love them so much.
Yeah, but Ray, we have a problem. You still took our bats and our gloves You still took our bats and our gloves.
Boomy, we're not perfect. I'm talking about you. I ain't talking about me. I got to do what I got to do.
Well, you guys are great. You know, we're reliving some really, really cool memories of you guys together, but with the captain. And Chris, for our young viewers out there, if you could share a final thought on Thurman Munson, what would you say about him?
Well, you know, Thurman's and I know it's an old term, but everybody says old school. But Thurman was he was a worker. He's a people who they come to the job to get it done every day. You know, there's no fanfare and all the flair and trying to be a prima donna or anything like that. Thurman was he put his face in the dirt and played the game. And I think sometimes that's missing sometimes. The guy just goes to work, does his job, and leads by example.
What are you talking about, Thurman?
Is what we were saying before. There's a lot of leaders that try to.
How in the world? Hey, look over.
Hey, you got Willie.
Look.
Wow,
A lot of leaders try to.
How you doing, guys?
Hey, big guy.
Down the field. Hard Willie, how you doing, my man?
Oh yeah, you're real hard.
Yeah, I can't see with my glass. I can see Big Head Chris. I can see Chris, but I don't see anybody else. How you guys doing?
Hey Willie, how you doing, big
We're
guy?
hanging in
I'm doing great. We're checking out the game. We got to get hot on this homestand so we can win some ball games, man.
That's right.
Hey, Will.
Willie, we're talking about Thurman, the captain. What's your recollections of Captain?
Well, there's a lot of great memories of Captain, but I just remember along with, Chris and Roy White, he's the one that really took me under his wing as a young player and taught me how to be a Yankee. I mean, he's the captain. I was a young kid, a little bit intimidated by some of the veteran guys, but like I said, Chris and those guys took me under their wing, and Thurman was just a guy that taught me how to be a Yankee along with the rest of the guys or whatever. A lot of great memories, but he was just a tough guy. Taught me how to be tough on the field, how to play the game hard every day. So I miss him a lot, and I can't believe it's been this long he's been gone, but I remember it very vividly. Chris, we were in Chicago the day before, right, Chris?
That's right.
And then all of a sudden, this happened, and I was just shocked. Never lost a teammate in my life. So it was just a tough day for all of us. And, I still get a chance to see his lovely wife at Old Timers Day and his kids. But Thurman was the captain, man. And I miss him dearly.
Wow. I know you're sitting, Ron, taking this all in. What's your final thoughts? What would you tell young people now about Thurman Munson?
It's very, very simple. He's 100% Yankee. He's 100% family man. He's 100% the captain of the Yankees. And the biggest thing is that, you couldn't find off the field a greater person than Thurman was. Thurman was a guy that, Willie would tell you, Chris, Roy would tell you that if you ever needed something, if you went up to Thurman, this guy will do anything in the world for you. And it's a tough time today. It's bittersweet. It's you miss the guy, you love the guy. He was your brother, but you know what? You had the opportunity to play with one of the best catchers ever in the game of baseball. And it was I had an opportunity to play with all these great guys and stuff, and I love them. And Thurman is looking down at us, and he loves us too. And Diana, his whole family are wonderful people, and I miss them, I love them, and I still think about them, and I still think about my brothers on this team.
Right, yeah, and your book is out there, The Captain and Me. It's a great book, and it really shares your relationship with the captain and beyond.
Thank you very much, Steve. And it was about Thurman, and it was very, very simple. And this guy deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And I want to do everything I possibly can to help him. I know it's very, very difficult to do that, but my last hurrah, I want to do everything I can to help Diana and her family and the guy that we played with called the captain to hopefully get into the Hall of Fame where he deserves.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. I know, Willie, you're at the stadium. Chris, you're at home. Ron, you're at home. God bless you guys on a difficult day, and thank you for all those memories and sharing some moments with us.
All right. Good to see you guys.
Good to
Love
see
you,
everybody.
appreciate you, Willie.
You guys
Love
take
you,
care.
man.
All right.
Robbie, Steve, love you, Chris. Love
Okay,
you,
you
big
got it.
guys. Bye-bye, y'all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Gentlemen, wow.
Powerful segment. It was so cool to have all three of those guys talking about the
All
captain.
four of them.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I forgot.
Yeah.
Willie,
Four of them.
Willie was a special surprise guest.
Right.
Yeah, Ray, when you see all those guys together, I mean, this is home to you. I mean, you're at Yankee Stadium. Those memories in the 70s, we relive it in Bat Boy, but you lived it day in and day out. When you see all those guys together, I mean, what are your thoughts?
I get emotional. I keep telling you, I get emotional, and I love them so much. They're my big brothers. People say, "Wow, what a horrible life that you had as a young kid," but it's just that in my house, there were, like I always say, there were 6 boys, and 5 out of the 6 boys went to jail. Okay,
Wow.
5 out of 6. And 5 out of the 6 are no longer alive today. So tell me that there isn't a God who in essence had a different plan for me, and in essence I got to be with the Bronx Bombers and with those particular guys who took care of me, who made me their little brother, and in turn made me want to George Steinbrenner and those boys made me want to live, because there were many days when I wanted to die.
Well, those guys, as tough as they were, the Bronx Bombers, they were your angels, brother.
Yes, they were.
Wow.
Yes,
wow.
they were.
Well, I mean, that was an amazing segment. I agree with Robbie there. And Robbie, you got that Dodger.
Hey, Steve, I want to say a special thank you to Raul Lopez, who's very loyal to our show. And I know that he enjoyed this segment because he's always been a huge Yankee fan. His son was the person who caught Derek Jeter's 3,000 base hit, believe it or not.
Super cool, yeah.
So tell me there isn't a God.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Well, Robbie, everybody picked up some great players at the trading deadline, including the
Man.
Dodgers.
What a wild weekend for that. And it's interesting, they have the power rankings of all the 30 teams in baseball. And right now, Dodgers number 1, Yankees number 2, the power rankings. So I think Max Scherzer may help the Dodgers. What do you think, Ray?
Just a little bit.
And then you throw in Trey Turner.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Why couldn't we get Turner?
Well, we got Rizzo and Gallo. We got a couple of Paisans. So
Yeah,
let's
you
see
know
what we can do.
the Paisans are coming back to Yankee Stadium. I love it. The Joe DiMaggio, those guys are going to hit a lot of home runs in Yankee Stadium.
Well, it's almost maybe the Yankees and Dodgers are going to meet each other in October.
We're banking on it, brother.
This is why we're doing this show, right? That's what we're living for, that moment.
That's it. And then we're going to come live to you from Dodger Stadium.
Oh, there we go.
So
Well,
Steve, are you getting Vinny Medugno on this show?
Yeah, well,
we got another Italiano.
Yeah, well, Robbie says this is where baseball meets music. So, Robbie, you want to intro our next guest?
Vinny Mendugo is amazing talent. This guy is a great, great singer. In the Italian singer tradition, he covers a lot of those great songs, from Frankie Valli to Jay Black and on and on and on. And this guy is a great guy, great singer, and his career is really starting to skyrocket. Let's bring him on. Mr. Vinny, come on on, brother.
Mr. Staten Island. There he goes.
Look, you
the
like
Yankees shirt.
You like that? Right.
Yeah.
Nice
Oh, I didn't know he was going to wear that.
Well, my brother gave it to me, and he goes, "Today's a special day. I'm going to allow you to wear it." My brother really is into the old school memorabilia and stuff like that. This is a vintage jacket, and he's like, "You got to wear this, especially for today." He goes, "I want you to show them that and how important it is." And we're old school in our house, so my uncles literally idolized the guys that were just on the screen. They were texting me during this, like, "I cannot believe right now you're in the green room with these guys on right now, talking about Thurman. My neighbor, Matt Dennis, he was a kid during that entire era and always talks about it with me. I think he was in the comments too, that how instrumental this was. So for me to be here with you guys tonight, thank you so much for inviting me to listen to that nostalgia, to hear that, to be part of that. And now, Ray, to be part of your story this weekend and bring it to life. And like Chris, I too am a lefty.
Nice.
There we go.
Can't wait. I
Yeah,
can't
well,
wait.
we have Bat Boy at the Argyle Theater.
Well, Steve, I have become one of the big Vinny Meduno fans, so I can't wait to hear him do Volare on Sunday. That's going to be, I'm excited.
I'm
What
excited
song is
that you
he-
guys
what-
requested that.
What song are you singing, Vinny?
Well, Ray asked me to do Volare. Then,
Oh,
you know, for the people that are coming to the show, I'm not going to give away the other surprises. You have to get your tickets to the Argyle Theater's production of Bat Boy this coming Sunday out in Babylon Village. And it's for a great cause because we're going to be supporting Parkinson's awareness for somebody really special in the Babylon community who this is going to benefit. And that's what it's about. It's about paying it forward. It's about being there. So if you want to hear what else I'm going to sing, get a ticket, do the right thing, and just go on a trip where you're going to relive every kid's dream as Ray Negron tells it to you.
Oh, that's
Wow,
great.
well
Now,
said.
I have a question.
Like that.
So there are probably a lot of people watching this show who don't even know that song. Do you think you could give them just a pinch as a teaser?
What, a little Volare? Really?
Volare, Acapulco.
If
as
people
they
don't
say.
know that one, they got to crawl back under the rock, but sure. Volare, whoa, cantare, buy a ticket to the show. That's all you're getting.
Yeah. Love it, love it, love it, love it.
I love it. That is great. That is great. And Vinny, your career, I mean, it was hit hard. Everybody was hit hard during the pandemic. But how are things going for you now?
Listen, like they say, when life throws lemons, you make lemonade, right? When the
Amen.
pitcher throws a curveball, you knock it out of the park instead of getting the strike. So that's what we had to do. Things are great. I really pretty much used the time to reinvent, to find the balance, to do some singing live online, to put together some more projects. I just finished a project last week. I was in the studio with the band and the backup singers that I work with, the Coda Band and the Chiclets. And we wanted to kind of give a different feel because a lot of the times we put out projects that are completely polished, which is great because that's what we're supposed to do as musicians. But I wanted to kind of like bring the listeners behind the scenes and let them hear rehearsal and what that sounds like for a big show coming up. I'm going to be at PNC Bank Arts Center 2 times. On August 26th, I know Steve wanted to talk about it, so I'll let him do that. And September 8th, I'm actually doing a an afternoon show, just me with the Chiclets and the Coda Band. It's going to be awesome. It's in Holmdel, New Jersey, exit 116 on the Garden State Parkway, and it's free, completely free for everybody to come on out. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be
and
good.
such a great venue because thousands and thousands. You got a inner circle, but then you got a large lawn section there that people are just dancing on August 26th. Tony Orlando, right?
Yep.
Bobby Rydell, yourself, and who else is going to
The
be there?
Capris.
Capris, wow.
That's Cousin Brucey's Palisades Park reunion show. It's all put together by 77 WABC, and it's pretty cool because I get to do like a lot of the warm up stuff for Cousin Brucey. It's kind of been our thing. One time I just went on stage for him at the Feast of San Gennaro. He loved it, and he told me, he goes, "I want you to warm up the audience because you're a modern guy, but you're preserving the old stuff and you're making the older people reminisce." And that's what I love. And where baseball meets music, it's cool because as a newbie, I'm able to appreciate the yesteryear. So like literally sitting and just watching those legends speak just now is all about the camaraderie, the nostalgia, and that's what it is too when you're backstage at a venue like PNC with all these guys. So I'm so excited because I've worked with Bobby Rydell in the past, I've worked with Tony Orlando in the past, and the Capris as well. So to be able to kind of like be the leading hitter, so to say, the first at bat that night and kick it off for them and get the audience pumped and ready is an exciting thing, and it's an honor.
And that is a great venue. 41 years ago, I just realized how long ago it was. 1980. We did before it was called PNC, it was called Garden State Arts Center.
Garden State Arts Center,
We used to
yep.
play there every year, and we did a live album, a double album back in the days when they had albums. We did a live album from that venue called Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons Reunited live at Garden State Arts Center, and I remember it like it was yesterday.
Wow.
It's going to be a great time. It's going to be an absolute great time. That's also a free show. So, you know, if people are in the mood for a good time, everybody just wants to kind of get back out there and do their thing again, this is definitely the place for you.
And for you Long Islanders, it's only like an hour and a half away. It's not even an hour and a half. So
Right,
you could just
right.
hightail it down the Garden State Parkway.
Yeah.
A free show. It's right there.
Listen, I'm driving an hour and a half to Babylon for a great cause this weekend. There's no place I'd rather be. Rick Mango, who also was a over 40-year touring member of the second strand of the Americans with Jay Black, is going to be there. And it's an unbelievable time when you're on stage with Rick. So it's just going to be a great event this weekend, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I think there's also a special appearance by Doc, right?
Yeah, Ray, you want to talk about that?
Well, Dwight Gooden, he's someone that is so good as far as if I call him up and I say there's a family in need, what time? And he shows up, and he's
Cool.
been wonderful. He's appeared in 2 other Bad Boy shows in the past, and you gotta love the doctor. You know what I'm saying? So I love the aspect of him sharing his time with not just with the audience, but with the cast.
Absolutely.
And we got a little clip of you singing there, Vinny. Let's check it out.
Sure.
We're gonna plug that right there. Let's see what we got here. Let's roll it.
Stay beside me, say you'll never leave me. How I love you, how I love you, how I need you, please believe me. In your arms I found my heaven, and your lips have done their part. Il mondo, your love is all I need in my world. Let tender kisses bleed in my world. How could I ever live without you? Il mondo, my heart belongs to you, so take it and promise me you'll never break it. Say you'll stay here in my arms. Gira il mondo, gira nello spazio senza fine, con gli amori appena nati, con gli amori.
Bravo, bravo.
Yeah, you guys like that one, huh, Robbie? You like that one.
Hey, what is this with, so let me ask you a question. That brings to mind, who would you say is the primary influence musically or vocally, specifically, on your career?
Well, first of all, speaking to you, it's like always fun.
Besides Frankie Valli. So
Well, that's what it is, because I fan out with him all the time, and he's really awesome. So Frankie's definitely one of them. Jay Black, I was having a talk earlier with Roy's buddy and Ray's buddy, Murray Bauer, that Jay Black, the way Thurman and all these guys played a role in Ray's upbringing, listening to the music of these guys back then played a role in my upbringing, because when I was a kid, I never knew anything about wanting to do this on a professional level. I just loved singing. I loved the music, and I used to pretend that I was a singer as a kid on a karaoke machine, and my grandma and my dad and mom used to buy these tapes of the oldies music, which when I was growing up at that time, it really wasn't oldies. It was only 15 or 20 years old, and CBS FM was still spinning these records. So it wasn't uncommon in my house to hear Jay Black. It wasn't uncommon to hear Roy Orbison, Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, and then, of course, all the female singers, right? And then before I knew it, I was loving these songs so much, and I was singing them, and I was getting into them, and that's where my vocal range came from. And when I got older, of course, I started working with professional people that help you tweak and fine-tune and train the vocals and whatnot, but those were my vocal coaches growing up. I would sit in my room for hours and just play and sing on the microphone until my mom would knock on the door and say, "All right, little Sinatra, it's time to eat dinner. Come out." And then I'd go.
I hear Jay Black in your approach and everything, of course. And Jay Black is one of the great singers. I remember we were doing a show and Jay was there. Jay, I mean, we used to do a lot of shows together with Jay back in the day. But Jay came to a show of ours a few years ago, and Frankie had him stand up and said, "This guy should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We've got to do whatever we can do to get him in the Rock and Roll."
And he still should be there.
Amen. I agree.
Because the records are great and the groups that still keep them alive are great, but there's only one voice that would ever be the synonymous voice on those records, and they wouldn't have had the fame they have and the longevity if it wasn't for his voice. So the fact that I get to be one of the many people in the world that tribute him and do it, you know, but it's pretty cool because Rick Mango and Murray both took videos of me singing his music to him.
Wow.
And, you know, and he gave it the seal of approval. So as far as I'm concerned,
well, we need
that's
to
a
get
blessing.
This guy's autograph while we still can, Vinny, because your star is rising, my brother.
I appreciate that.
Well, I'm ready for you on Sunday. I'm going to get your autograph there, Vinny.
I'm looking forward to being there, too. I think it's great. It's called Bad Boy Returns. It's at the Argyle Theater in Babylon. So make sure you come on out. Again, it's for an amazing cause. You can go to argyletheater.com/event/Batboy, A Yankee Miracle Returns. Come on out, people. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Great music, great stories, great cause. Where do you lose in that?
Right,
Yeah.
It's a grand slam. It's a grand slam.
Ray, I think we got a new marketing person.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, Steve, you're fired.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to say that I'm thinking of you guys today. I have so many students that I teach during the day and in high school, and my student athletes, you know, they respect a guy like Thurman and so many of these other legends that paved the way for the modern legends. So it's pretty cool to hear the people that actually lived and came up with these guys. And it's, you know, no matter how many years go by, the loss is still stings each and every year when it approaches. So I know how hard of a day it must be, and I know that he's very instrumental in your show, right, Ray? Like I know that this.
Yes, he is. Yes,
so
he is.
I'm really honored to be part of it and to honor him.
Yes, he is. Well, I appreciate it very, very much.
Yeah, no doubt. He's definitely a focal point of the Bat Boys show. But Robbie, you've been hitting the road too with the Frankie Valli and the boys, right? How's that going?
We finally had well. Last weekend was our first set of shows in a year and a half. We played in Green Bay, Wisconsin last Friday. Saturday night we played in Dayton, Ohio, and Sunday night we played in Milwaukee. And there we have coming up this Friday, I think. Well, where are we playing? Thursday night we're in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Friday night we're at Mohegan Sun.
Yes.
And then I can
Saturday
tell you, because I spent a lot of money. I donated to the Commonwealth of Atlantic City this weekend by flooding their machines. And August 13th and 14th at the Hard Rock, you guys are going to be there. And I'm so pissed because I'm going to be in Boston. Otherwise, I would have said, Robbie, I'm coming to see you. But it's all good because you'll be in Staten Island in October. So I'll definitely link up with you there.
And that's the new album that we just released, Frankie Valli, A Touch of Jazz. That's Frankie's first album ever doing jazz. But I have a clip. I wonder if we could show that. And I think Ray especially will appreciate this. This is from last Sunday night in Milwaukee. Now, last year, by the way, we also have another picture. Do you know Beggin' by what is it? Mayskin is #1 on Spotify right now. Look at that. Frankie Valli songs. And look at the #2 song on Spotify is Stay. Also a Frankie Valli song. But last Sunday night, and you'll appreciate this, Vinny, this past year during the pandemic, Frankie Valli and Pitbull did a duet.
Yes.
Doing Can't Take My Eyes Off You. And Frankie mentioned that in the show last Sunday night. Was it Sunday night? Yeah, Sunday night. Saturday. I'm confused now. Whatever. We played Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, Sunday night in Milwaukee. And we have a little bit of a clip of us doing Can't Take My Eyes Off You with a little different language twist. I want you to appreciate this, Ray, especially. Can we play that clip?
God bless him. God bless him.
Wow.
Could you understand the language? How was their Spanish, Ray?
So, estaba bien bueno, bien bueno. Me gusta mucho.
I tell you, Robbie, I did an interview with him last year for WABC for 4th of July, and he was really, really, really shaken up with this pandemic, as was a lot of people. But I guess when you get into a certain age bracket, it is scarier.
Yeah.
So to see him out there now, traveling and performing, makes me see the light at the end of the tunnel, knowing that hopefully things are getting fully back to normal because Frankie Valli's on the road dominating and all is right with the world.
Amen. And he's only 87, though. See, that's only for older people that have to worry about that.
Wow. So, Robbie, how's the tour been going for you? Is it getting right back in the saddle again, or is it a little?
Well, the first show, there were some cobwebs we had to dust off because the first time in a year and a half. Well, first of all, for me, I've been a touring musician for 50 years, and this is all of a sudden it's that spigot has turned off. It was a wacky year and a half, and then for Frankie, longer than that. This is the longest Frankie Valli has ever been not touring in his whole life.
Wow.
So we got out there, but we have a great new band. Well, not a new band, but we have some new personnel changes, and the band is a killer band. And we kicked-tailed for all 3 nights, and Frankie was on it, and the audiences were packed and just singing out. And looking forward, Mohegan. I'm going to see you, I think, Friday night in Mohegan Sun, right, Steve?
Yes, I'm definitely going to be there with my wife. Definitely, yes, we're going to be there. Thank you so much.
And I don't think Ray can make it because he's too busy.
But on August 12th, you're at the Paramount on Long Island, so
Yes.
Ray will be at that one.
Great.
Yeah, that's it. That's if Robbie and Frankie invite me.
You have a permanent invitation, brother.
There we go. Vinny, thank you so very much. How can people get a hold of you, Vin?
You can find me on social media, or you could see me this weekend in Bat Boy at the Argyle Theater. You like that, Ray? I'll just keep throwing that.
I love it. I wish I could be there.
Yeah, we would love to have you there, man, but you'll be there in spirit with us.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Always.
social media, and then my new CD is going to be available actually in the next week or so. Really excited about that one, so people will be able to get that on my website, VinnyMaduno.com. Same spelling as you all see on the screen. And it's really cool. That's literally an off-guard picture. I was singing, and the photographer goes, "Hey, look here, quick, let me get a picture." And when I went through all the photos at the end of the night, I said, "I think that's the cover." And then I turned right back into it, and we just kept singing. So it's about 13 songs that'll be featured in my live shows coming up. And then the bonus track on that disc is Il Mundo, which you guys featured tonight. So it'll be available at my shows and, of course, on my website, and so many other great things to come.
Well, Vinny, thank you so very much. God bless you. We love the jacket. We love the voice. We love the person. Can't wait to see you in person on Sunday.
I think I'm going to wear it. What do you think? Should I wear it Sunday, Ray?
Right.
That way
Okay.
we'll have less costume to put on.
Very good. We got to talk about what I got to wear, what we got to do. It's going to be a great time.
You're wearing it.
Thank you.
There
I'm
we
looking
go.
forward to being there, and let's
Thank
keep
you,
it
Vinny.
going.
Thank you. God bless.
Likewise.
So,
Wow. Robbie, what a great talent. What a great person.
So I get a chance to meet you for the very first time, Steve, in the flesh on Friday.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's going to be very exciting. So we're looking forward to it.
Steve,
I mean, I want to thank
Steve.
Ray. Yeah.
Steve, you should stay home and let your wife go.
She doesn't know how to get there. I have to take her.
Robbie will send a limo.
That's a great venue, too, Mohegan Sun. Ray's been there a number of times with us.
Yeah, that's great. It really
You got to
is.
skip the Yankee game Friday and come on down, Ray, and party.
Oh, God, I wish I could. I wish I could.
But Ray, this has been a special show, right, Ray?
It's been an exhausting show. It's been an exhausting show. I'm literally drained the whole day, the whole aspect of Thurman, and then to have my 4 brothers on there like that with Robbie, number 5. It's too much. Too much.
How's the game going, by the way, over there?
We're losing 2-0, but it's still early. It's 2-0 in the 3rd inning.
Okay.
Well, we got to say thanks to Gabe here, our technician behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Did
Gabe.
an amazing job
Hello.
pinch hitting here. Great job, Gabe. Thank you so
Great
much,
job,
man.
Gabe.
And, we're done with our show, but Robbie, you still got a show going on, right?
I got a show tonight, and a guy, a dear friend of mine who's been a guest on Reach Out before, his name is Warren Ham. And Warren Ham is one of the most talented human beings in the music business. He's played with, well, I have a little clip that tells us who he's played with. Can we roll that clip?
Yeah, let's check
How
it
much
out.
time you got, Steven?
Hey, gang, I'm getting ready for tonight. My buddy, Mr. Warren Ham, one of the most talented human beings on the planet. This guy, he's my buddy for a long, long time. We're going to play. We're going to reminisce. We're going to just basically hang out. This guy has a resume that is absolutely ridiculous. He's played with Cher. He's played with Toto. He's played with Kansas. He's played with Blood Rock. He's played with Olivia Newton-John. He's played with Amy Grant. He's played with, of course, Frankie Valli. And I'm honored to have him here tonight. It's going to be so. Oh, and he also plays with a Beatle. He plays in Ringo Starr's All-Star Band. Have I forgotten somebody? I don't think so. So, see you tonight.
Well, Robbie, we had to cut it short. We're out of time. Have a great night, Robbie. God bless.
You too, brother. Thank you so much. I'll see you
I'll
Friday.
see you on
We'll talk
Friday.
before then.
See you on
Awesome.
Friday. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you guys later.